Unfortunately, our week with this 2019 Ram Rebel is coming to an end. What do we think of it after a week behind the wheel? Stay tuned to find out. The Rebel has a unique exterior differentiated from other trims with this Rebel-specific grille, unique powder-coated front bumper with integrated skid plate, black bezel LED headlamps, standard sport performance hood, black fender flares, polished and black 18-inch wheels wrapped in Goodyear Duratrack tires, Ram tailgate lettering, black bezel taillights, powder-coated rear bumper, and black exhaust tips. This particular truck is finished in flame red with the black two-tone, and I think it looks great. Over the course of the last week, it has drawn a lot of attention from onlookers. This truck does have the bed utility group, which features these adjustable cargo tie-down hooks and LED box lighting. This truck also does have the optional soft tri-fold tonneau cover. In my opinion, that's an option best left unchecked, as you can do better in the aftermarket. Now let's go take a look at the interior of this truck. When you open the door to the Rebel, you are greeted with this red and black interior scheme. There are nice red anodized accents on the dash, gauge cluster, door panels, and center console. While I wasn't a huge fan of it on our earlier quick drive of the 2019 Ram Rebel, it has really grown on me over the last week. The only place that I think they went too far is the red trim on the seat bases. Personally, I think they would look better black, but that's always a personal opinion. The seats themselves are extremely comfortable and are a leather and cloth combination with the Goodyear Duratrax tread pattern in the cloth portions of the seats. The front seats also have Rebel embroidering on the seat bolsters. The driver's seat is full power, including lumbar adjustment, while the passenger seat is manually adjusted. High-quality materials are used throughout the cab, and I particularly like this red and white accent stitching that has been used around the cabin. Soft touch materials are abundant, with harder plastics only being down low where you generally don't look or touch. The interior is well put together and produced no squeaks or rattles throughout my time with this truck. The new gauge cluster features nice large dials with an attractive, easy-to-read font. The 7-inch display in the cluster is very high resolution and is customizable to your tastes while delivering all of the important information you need to know. Coming around to the center stack reveals a very well laid out setup. The 8.4-inch Uconnect screen is mounted up high for ease of use and good visibility. Directly below the screen are volume and tune knobs along with mute and screen off buttons. The Uconnect screen is very high resolution and responds quickly to the touch. This truck had the 4C system with navigation. Sirius satellite radio is standard and allows you to rewind the stations that you have set as favorites. Now, the stations that you have set as favorites also have a feature called Tune Start, which means that when you choose between your favorites, the current song will always start from the beginning. This head unit also features Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I used CarPlay extensively during my time with this truck and found it to work flawlessly. The ability to use Waze and Google Maps on the screen was a very nice option to have. There are hard buttons for the heated seats and steering wheel, and full physical controls for the climate control system. 3 knobs control 6 different functions on this system, with knobs for driver and passenger temperature, fan speed, vent selection, enabling auto climate control, and turning on the air conditioning. Along with those knobs, you also get buttons for recirculation, front defrost, rear window and side view mirror defrost, and an off button. The climate control can also be controlled through the Uconnect system or by voice if you so desire. Below the climate controls are the optional trailer brake controller and toggle switches for the air suspension, traction control, tow haul mode, and front and rear parking sensors. The front of the center console houses a CD player, USB and USB-C ports for the driver and front passenger, a cell phone holder, and a 115-volt power plug. The center console tray has 2 cup holders and a storage bin and can slide back and forth to suit your preferences. The armrest is a 2-tiered design with a smaller top opening that houses another USB port inside it along with a larger bottom section. The back seat area on this truck is massive. I'm 6 foot to 6'1" on a good day and can sit behind myself with a ton of knee and leg room left over. Even with the panoramic sunroof eating up some headroom, I still had a few inches of headroom to spare. Rear seat passengers are treated to 2 more USB and USB-C ports in the back of the center console, along with another 115-volt household power plug. There are air vents for rear passengers, a storage cubby, 2 cup holders and a tablet holder in the back of the center console, along with 2 more cup holders in the fold-down armrest. This truck also had the optional panoramic sunroof, which is massive and lets a ton of natural light into the cab. This truck also does have the Mopar all-weather mats, which in the Rebel come with the red Ram logo, which looks nice. It's a flat load floor in the back of the 2019s, and the back seat just flips up. You've got some underseat storage, and what you can also do, if you flip this back, this comes out, and then you've got even more storage all the way through. On these trucks, unlike the older ones, you actually have storage under both sections of the back seat, as the subwoofer is now mounted to the back wall. Overall, the interior works very well, has a ton of space and storage, and is no doubt class-leading with high-quality materials and a pleasing design. As good as the interior is, out on the road is where the 2019 Ram 1500 really shines. 2 things are immediately apparent when you set off in this truck. The first is how incredibly smooth it is, and the second is how quiet the interior is. Starting with an all-new, fully boxed frame made from 98% high-strength steel gave Ram engineers the backbone they needed to achieve these levels of refinement. New for 2019 are active tune mass modules bolted to the frame, which work to cancel out any powertrain or chassis vibrations by generating an equally opposing vibration to cancel them out. Frequency response damping shocks are also new for 2019, which feature a bypass valve that is automatically opened or closed depending on road conditions to provide either a smoother ride or additional stability in situations that demand it. Those are just a few of the technologies that make this truck so smooth that even after a week behind the wheel, it's instantly noticeable every time I drive it, which is very impressive. Ram engineers have also added active noise cancellation for 2019, which combined with class-leading aerodynamics creates an extremely quiet cab. The only noticeable noise on this Rebel was a bit of road noise from the Goodyear Duratrac tires, not enough to be annoying, but you definitely do hear a bit of tire noise. This, of course, is to be expected with aggressive off-road biased tires and isn't likely to bother an intended Rebel purchaser. The 5.7-liter Hemi V8 without e-torque is the only powertrain offered in Canada on the Rebel, while in the United States the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 with e-torque is standard, with the 5.7-liter Hemi and 5.7-liter Hemi with e-torque being optional. While the Hemi is now old enough to hold a driver's license, first being introduced in 2003 in the Ram truck lineup, it has been refined and gained new technologies over the years. Now developing 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque, the Hemi feels very strong in everyday driving. All 2019 Ram 1500s get an updated version of the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission that works exceptionally well. 5thGenRams co-editor Robert Miller recently purchased a 2019 Ram 1500 Laramie Sport that we are using as a long-term test truck, and during one of our conversations about the truck, he said that whoever tuned this transmission deserves an award. After my time driving this truck, I completely agree. Driving around town at part throttle, you don't even feel the transmission shift. It's incredibly smooth. Upon full throttle acceleration, it holds gears to redline and shifts quickly. This transmission also downshifts quickly when asked of it and does an excellent job of grade shifting when going downhill. On our highway MPG loop, this Rebel returned a hand-calculated 12.07 liters per 100 kilometers, which works out to 19.5 miles per gallon. We were very impressed with that number based on some other tests we had seen, and our run wasn't even a clean run with a bit of stop-and-go traffic and a construction zone to deal with going each way. Over the course of the week, with 70% city and 30% highway driving, the truck returned a hand-calculated average of 15.62 liters per 100 kilometers, which works out to 15 miles per gallon. Brakes are all new for 2019 with front rotors that measure 14.9 inches in diameter. I found this truck to stop very well with much better pedal feedback than the older trucks. Also new is an electronic parking brake that can be set to automatically engage and disengage when the truck is put in park, a feature that I really liked over the week with this truck. The steering is electronic, and although I found it to be a touch on the light side, it does make for easy city driving. Steering feel is good both on and off center, and I found the steering to be quite direct. The steel coil suspension is standard on the Rebel, although this one had the optional air suspension. All Rebels do get Bilstein remote reservoir shocks, which are unique to the Rebel trim. There are 4 user-selectable ride heights, although easy entry exit and off-road mode are only available at low speeds. If you drive the truck in normal mode, it will automatically lower to aero mode at highway speed for better fuel efficiency. The truck handled surprisingly well and stayed composed in corners. Overall, the truck was a complete pleasure to drive. So, what will this all set you back? In Canada, the base price for a 2019 Rebel Crew Cab 4x4 is $60,795. In the US, the base price is $47,740. Our tester was almost fully loaded, which pushed the sticker price to $73,305 Canadian, or $61,630 equipped the same in the United States. For 2019, the Rebel is available in a quad cab with 6-foot 4-inch bed, or the crew cab with 5-foot 7-inch box like our tester was. The 2019 Ram 1500 has earned a ton of awards, such as Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Edmunds Editor's Choice Award, and TFL Truck's Gold Hitch Award. Based on my week-long experience with this truck, it deserves every single one of those awards, as well as a spot in your driveway. For the complete written review with a ton of photos, head on over to 5thGenRams.com.